Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be testing the RX 9070 Sapphire Pulse model of the card. I'm going to be testing against the RTX 4070 Super Founded Edition of the card. And I'm going to be using the 9000X3D. I'm going to be using 32GB of DDR5. It's going to be a 4K test. I will have a 1440p video out soon as well. And I will have all the specs in the description below for you guys to see. Alright guys, let's get into the video. Right guys, so we're starting out with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, playing at 4K, very high settings with TAA. We're seeing around 10 to 12 FPS difference between these two GPUs, and the power draw is basically the same, 220 watts. So I was really waiting to make this video because I know both of these cards pull literally the same amount of power, so I knew it was going to be really interesting to see. And of course, the 9070 has 16GB of VRAM compared to the 12GB on the 4070 Super. So the 1% lows look really good on both GPUs, and it runs really well. Sadly, the 4070 Super is under 60 FPS, but you can enable DLSS and you will get over 60. The same with the 9070. If you enable FSR quality, you're going to get way more FPS as well. It is dropping a little bit under 60, but it's most of the time it will be on 60 FPS. This area is pretty demanding, so if it runs on 60 here, it probably will run everywhere else as well. Alright guys, so we have God of War Ragnarok running at 4K, ultra settings with TAA. We're seeing a massive difference. We're seeing like 40 FPS difference between these two GPUs. I was shocked when I was editing this before because I'm doing the voiceover on the second day now. When I saw this, I was double checking everything. Like, I couldn't believe how big of a difference we have in this game. Like 40 FPS is just such a big difference. Of course, the 4070 Super still does a fantastic job. We are getting 75 FPS, so really playable, really smooth. And the 12GB is enough, so I can really enjoy this game. RX 9070 absolutely blows out the walls again, over 100 FPS. It's just amazing what the 9070 can do here. It shows you guys how important it is to test many games, not just one game, because if you just test one game, you're not really going to get the whole picture. That's why you need to test many games to see the real difference between these GPUs. Right guys, so we have Red Dead Redemption 2 running at 4K, ultra settings with TAA, and I have Reflection MSAA on ×4 on the 9070 just because it didn't let me go to ×8 for some reason. I have no idea why, and I couldn't, retest the 4070 Super because I did sell it like literally a few days ago, so I couldn't retest the GPU to put it at four times. But the difference in FPS should be like 3 or 4, so we should be getting like 3 or 4 FPS less the 9070. So if you see in 66, then it should be getting around 62 with the same settings as the 4070 Super. So, but yeah, that's the only thing that's different here, guys. So just letting you know so you guys don't get confused. It's just really strange. I did reset my PC when tested the 9070, so I don't know how that could do anything to for the settings not to be able to go to ×8. Not really sure about that. If you guys know anything about that, please let me know in the comments below. But the difference really isn't that much in this game, like probably about 5 to 6 FPS maybe difference between these two GPUs. Right guys, so next up we have Silent Hill 2 running at 4K with the Epic preset, and we're seeing 30 FPS on both of the GPUs. The 4070 Super does do a really good job, I have to say. Like, they're catching up to the 9070, does a pretty decent job. Both cards are under 60 FPS, so I wouldn't recommend playing this game with, under 60 just because there is a lot of shooting in this title. I would not recommend playing with, 30 FPS. At all. Also, I forgot to mention as well, I did mention in my other videos, I have noticed that the AMD cards do like to use more VRAMs. It's usually around 2GB more than the 4070 Super. Alright guys, so next up we have Thor running at 4K ultra settings, and we're seeing that the RTX 4070 Super does get like 6 to 7 FPS more. This title does really like Nvidia GPUs, I have to say. It does favor them way more. But I have to say guys, later on in the benchmark, it will run out of VRAM, the 4070 Super, because this game loves a lot of VRAM. It literally eats it. It uses like 40, 50 gigabytes in 4K. So the 4070 Super will run out of VRAM and it will start stuttering. I mean, it's stuttering even now, dropping all the way down to 40s. The 9070 does get a little bit less FPS, but I would prefer it more over the 4070 Super just because it won't be stuttering and it won't be running out of VRAM constantly. Right guys, so we have FORZA Ryzen 5 running at 4K, max settings with TAA. The 9070 is getting around 10 to 13 FPS more, and we're seeing again that the 9070 does use more VRAM yet again, using around 2 gigabytes more, and of course the power draw is exactly the same on both of these cards. Yeah, they're both over 60 FPS, so it's really nice to see. We are using ray tracing and everything literally maxed out. I do think both cards are doing a fantastic job considering the settings that we're running at. That's been one of my favorite games so far. I've been playing this game so much recently, literally. But yeah, I do like testing this game. It's a really nice game to play, really. Right guys, so we have The Last of Us Part 1 with our 4K ultra settings. We're seeing around 16 FPS difference between these two GPUs. Sadly, the 4070 Super is way under 60 FPS. It does stutter quite a bit as well. It's dropping all the way down to 20s. RX 9070, most of the time around 60 FPS. It's not stuttering at all, just a really smooth experience. But I think if you do enable DLSS quality, you should get around 60 FPS. This game is really demanding though, I have to say. It's a really demanding game. It uses quite a lot of VRAM. The 4070 Super is basically on the edge here, like on the 12 gigabytes. It might even be running slightly out of it just because I'm seeing the stuttering. We're not seeing that on the 9070, so it might be running out of that VRAM just a little bit with these settings. But I think if you do enable that DLSS quality, you should be fine. Next up, we have Spider-Man 2 running at 4K, ultra settings with TAA. We're seeing around 10 FPS difference between these two GPUs. And of course, the 1% lows are absolutely terrible. This game, I do recommend frame generation. Without frame generation, you're just not going to get a good experience at all. I've played this game with my 5090, and even with that card, I had to use MFG, the multi-frame generation, just to get playable experience. But it does look really good, this game. I have to say, it is a beautiful title, but you do need to use frame gen just to get a playable experience. RX 9070 is using more VRAM. Like I said before, I have noticed that the AMD cards like to use more VRAM. When they have it available, they just like to use more. The same power draw, both cards have basically the same power. And the RTX 4070 Super is slightly below 60 FPS. There's nothing that, DLSS quality can't help with. Lastly, we have Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl running at 4K epic settings with TAA. We're only seeing that the RX 9070 is getting around 3 to 6 FPS more compared to the 4070 Super. Sadly, both cards are going to be stuttering quite a bit in this title just because it is a UE5 title. So it's just going to be a stutter fest. 9070 seems to be stuttering a little bit more than the 4070 Super, dropping all the way down to 8 FPS. I have actually played on the 4070 Super quite a bit in this game. I have over 50 hours playing with this card. It was a pretty decent experience, especially when I enabled frame generation. Nevertheless though, I think both cards are doing a decent job considering this game is quite broken and it just stutters quite a lot. Alright guys, so we're at the end of the video now. I think the 9070, pretty nice upgrade over the 4070 Super. I know the 4070 Super did well in quite a lot of games, but that 12 gigabytes of VRAM is just holding it back a little bit in 4K. I am going to do a 1440p test soon, so do subscribe for that guys. I think over there, it might have a better chance because in 4K, in a few games that we saw, it was stuttering quite a bit just because it was running out of VRAM. I think if you could get a pretty decent price on the 4070 Super and you could just sell it and get the 9070, I think it's worth it. Or even the XT version as well. That could be even better of an upgrade. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, comment and subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.